Peace, power to the people. This is Alkqn, aka King Knowledge, reporting for the Noble Young Lords Party. Alright, so this report that I'm reading is from a Alkqn political prisoner, and it is titled Kingizm as a Religion. Religion is something one believes in devotedly. My religion is Kingism, which gives me faith in myself, a national self-respect, and power to educate the poor and relieve the misery around us. By putting into practice the true essence of Kingism as described in our King Manifest and Constitution, I've learned from one stage to the next of nation life the importance of understanding the social factors surrounding each stage. Alright, this Alkqn political prisoner is reporting from Mississippi. All right. Now this Alkqn political prisoner continues. When I was a kid, I did things without giving them the serious thought that they demanded. I spent a lot of my younger years being immature and acting on impulses that led me astray by my own choosing. But I didn't end my life by believing that all was lost. As I grew older and I was being guided by our nation's literature and mentors of our older leadership, I was being molded and shaped to become a better man and king. Most importantly, I always had faith in myself, faith in my nation, and faith in our Creator. I always believed I could overcome any obstacles that was put before me. But like all kings and queens, we all need guidance in our lives and courage to withstand the trials of time, to lead us on this golden path of righteousness. A brother showed me from the Holy Bible, 1 Samuel, that looks can be what allures us to failure as men and kings. Following someone who may look like they have it all is not necessarily the path chosen to walk. Listening and responding are vital in our growth as men and leaders. Our Creator wants obedience from the heart, which derives from love and respect. That's how one can tell if there is authenticity to the actions and motives behind our family's behavior. That's how God knew David was after his own heart. Although he messed up numerous times, he didn't make the same mistake several times. He had faith and was loyal in his guidance. Hence the David's crown. I won't do that again. Truth should be the light and source that guides our loyalties. Loyalty is one of the strongest aspects of courage. In essence, the summary of 1 Samuel that I've learned from should be leadership, obedience, and understanding that no government or set of laws can substitute. Let me read this again. Truth should be the light and source that guide our loyalties. Loyalty is one of the strongest aspects of courage. In essence, the summary of 1 Samuel in the Bible that I've learned from should be leadership, obedience, and understanding that no government or set of laws can substitute for the rule of our Creator, the Almighty. If we possess that fiber, we can and will become great kings and the true leaders we were intended to be. We can demonstrate effective leadership under our Creator by showing the personal qualities that pleases Him and reveal to our nation and people that one person can make a difference. It takes courage and strength to stand firm in your conviction and even to confront wrongdoing in the face of opposition. But as men and kings, we must stand firmly in opposition and quest for righteousness. Greatness is often inspired by the quality and character of our leadership. The ultimate greatness that we should desire is to love others as God loved us. then you'll achieve greatness. Now he continues. Sometimes we have to tear down and rebuild our lives. We must understand that once a king becomes critical or too educated, deconstruction becomes naturally for us. But deconstruction is rather useless without reconstruction. So if you shed against the image, you deconstruct yourself, you have to reconstruct yourself. Construct a new person, a new king, without a positive vision. Now it says, it is the easiest thing in the world to point out what is wrong, who did this, who did that, to stand on a pedestal of superiority without doing anything positive or becoming a positive answer to dilemmas as such. After one deconstructs, we can find out what you are actually for. An awful lot of activists and reactionaries have no positive vision, nothing they truly believe in, and finally knowing to love. They get entangled in, overwhelmed with what's wrong, and think by eliminating what's wrong, the so-called contaminated element, that the nation will be pure and right again. This, I believe, is a major illusion. In this way, we are merely in the politics of expulsion. How then can we as a body transform and integrate one that has begun to deconstruct back into the mainland of our KMC, King Manifest Constitution? What is true justice and peace? Problem solving, in my opinion, by punishing and shunning will not itself create our new vision. Can we conform to our Creator's words and become a solution instead of using one to scapegoat an issue? We must not be hasty about accepting someone's condemnation of another person, especially when the accuser may profit from that downfall. Hope and meaning give us purpose. Let's find out his or hers and help their transformation. If one does not deconstruct for reconstructing transformation, then the element of hope is gone, and love is not intrinsic. Then the finality is shunning. Prison sees this phase more than any reality. Remember, anything lasting is transformation, not change. We should all allow the ongoing transforming ways of kingizm to be the vaccine that continues to cure the desolate halls of hate, envy, greed, and ego. May the blessings of the ancients and the wisdom of the ages be our guide in all things we do. Peace in black and gold yesterday, today, tomorrow, always, and forever. Amor del Rey. So that was the Land King political prisoner, right? So now this is the response. Noble Young Lords Party responds. This commentary about religion demonstrates well some of the useful qualities of religion while hinting at the significant pitfalls of faith in a creator. This comrade starts off talking about faith in self and national self-respect. These are important qualities, and applying these to the belief and power to educate the poor and relieve misery around us is a correct way to approach serving the people. The Almighty Land King Queen Nation has done some very positive work around revolutionary nationalism and organizing. This comrade has derived some very good values from their faith in a higher power, the importance of leadership, and of loving the people. They also stress that truth should be the light and source that guide our loyalties. The problem comes in when faith in a creator is used as the source of truth. We do not get truth from some higher being. We get truth from study and practice. There are many things in the Bible that are clearly not factual and even contradicting to other parts of the Bible. This is not a good source of truth either. If we use religion as a basis for truth, we will all too often find ourselves on the wrong side of the oppressed versus oppressor struggle. This is especially true if people think about their work as having the goal of pleasing God instead of the goal of serving the people. Groups like the Almighty Land King Queen Nation tend to pick and choose things from religion that work for them in an eclectic way, rather than accepting the doctrine of any one religion as a whole. This is closer to the materialist method, but it is disguised in religious language, which is misleading. We disagree with the definition of religion given at the beginning of this comrade's essay. While it has often been stated by revolutionaries that the people are my religion, this is just an analogy. Maoism is an ideology, and dialectical materialism is a philosophy. And as Engels stressed, all philosophy can be divided into two main camps: idealists and materialists, with all religions falling in the idealist camp and Maoism falling in the materialist camp. Now, furthermore, Almighty Land King Queen Nation, though not a religion, is essentially religious. Most of its struggle and goals are of a sacred nature. Much of it is woven into the structure of Catholicism or Christianity. Now, if the Almighty Land King Queen Nation is not a religion, what is it? It is a mass organization of the first world lumpen class, in particular those of the Boricua and Chicano nations, people whose history has included extreme oppression at the hands of the Catholic Church, and who largely took on Catholicism and other forms of Christianity as part of their modern culture. The history of the Almighty Land King Queen Nation under King Tone leadership in New York was a period of strong Catholic influence. Almighty Land King Queen Nation also incorporates Santeria and makes reference to Islam and Buddhism at times. This taking of ideas from various cultures represents the eclecticism of the Almighty Land King Queen Nation. Eclecticism is common in a mass organization because they, by definition, include people with varying ideas and beliefs. And while religion has been a significant piece of their eclecticism, it is not the defining characteristic of the organization. So we would tend to agree that the Almighty Land King Queen Nation is not a religion. The Almighty Land King Queen Nation is an interesting organization that parallels the nation of gods and earth in some ways. The nation of gods and earth has historically had an anarchist view towards structure and leadership, while the Almighty Land King Queen Nation does have a structure and hierarchy. Like NGE has the nation of gods and earth has strong democratic traditions, in particular around questions of religion, allowing for and even defending a diversity of views. This reflects the United Front for Peace in prison. Principles of growth. Both organizations have had prayer as part of their cultures, but without a specific belief system around the role of prayer or who they were praying to. The Nation of Gods and Earth, of course, does not believe in any God outside of human beings, indicating a progression of spirituality towards materialism. Now, the Almighty King Queen Nation fits more into a traditional definition of a liberation theology with its explicit religious ideas, while urging members to reflect on their realidad humana through rituals and ceremonies which highlight the daily experiences of poverty, unemployment, police brutality, and racism. More specifically, anti-imperialism from a third world proletarian perspective has been a strong influence on the Almighty King Queen Nation ideology dating back to the 1960s. Now, it is eclecticism that allows mass organizations like Almighty King Queen Nation to adapt and survive over long periods of time, unlike the Young Lords Party and the Black Panthers Party, which were both crushed by state repression and lack of conditions to support their specific mission as Maoist vanguards. Kingism is an ideology of the oppressed that promotes fighting the oppressor, and it holds back the oppressed by promoting mysticism rather than science. End quote. All right. So that was Kingism as a religion. Yes. I'll close with that. Now, this is the reason why the Noble Young Lords Party is an advanced theory and practice from the original Young Lords Party, because now the Noble Young Lords Party is guided by not only Karl and Marx, right, but it's guided by not only Karl Marx and Lenin, right? Karl Marx is one person. Karl Marx, Lenin, but also by Maoists. These are the three individuals. Marx, Lenin, Maoists. These are the three individuals that are the guiding principles of the Noble Young Lords Party, right? So, a comrade could be whatever religion you want to believe in the Noble Young Lords Party, but the Bible, the Quran, or the Torah is not going to be what's guiding the party. What guides the party is the platform. What guides the party is the rules and regulation. What guides the party is when we study and practice and go over analysis, for better practices. That's what guides the party. So Noble Young Lords Party, in a humble and respectful way, is like saying it is the best versions of the original Young Lords Party and the best version of the Almighty King Queen Nation. That's the Noble Young Lords Party. But Noble Young Lords Party is not a gang. It is not a clique. It is not a street organization. And it doesn't ride a 5. It doesn't ride a 6. Although it does ride the 5-star. The 5-star represents revolution. The 5-star represents the guerrilla movement. Okay? To give you one more. Okay, another part here. One moment. So, the other segment, to give you more information in regards to the Noble Young Lords Party, is right here. I'm gonna read this for you. Okay. So we go here. And one moment. Okay, let me enlarge this. So mind you, this is what I am representing is the Noble Young Lords Party, Latino Nations North America. All right. The Noble Young Lords Party resurrect the spirit of the original Young Lords Party and Black Panther Party, while at the same time practicing in a more advanced manner than the original Young Lord Party. Our 10-point program established the cardinal differences between the old Young Lords and the new Young Lords, which is the Noble Lord Party. Our political line and practice will be non-negotiable socialist with the future goal of reaching an advanced Maoist practice. Our guiding line will be Marxism, Leninism, Maoism. We have many goals, but the most important of these is to help facilitate the destruction of imperialism through education of the masses and political agitation. All this will become indispensable in the personal practice of the Noble Young Lord. We want to continue the revolutionary struggle that was left to die on the concrete streets of capitalism. We ain't advanced theoreticians. In fact, we're still learning. But we understand what we want. We want land. We want food. We want shelter. We want job, affordable housing, job with benefits. Third, all of these we want, but not off the brutalized backs of our third world sisters and brothers. We want self-determination for our respective nations, but not under the precept of an oppressive regime in which we emulate the oppressor. Noble Young Lords Party knows that it is not possible to change the fundamental nature of the United States without an armed revolution. The ballot box will simply never fundamentally alter the dominance of man over woman, the capitalist class over the proletarian class, or the white nation over the black, Latino, and First Nations. So more qualified men and women than the current founders should have formed this party. However, it seems that the task was falling upon those least expected to do the right thing, that so-called gang member, that so-called thief, or antagonist rebel, college, high school student who loves to wear black and who seems obvious to the world around us. Out of the so-called dregs of humanity comes the salient voice of human progress. Progress. And hasn't it always been that way? Reporting. This is Malik Alkqn, chairman of the Noble Young Lords Party, New York State chapter. I sign out. One Lord, one people. Stay noble. Peace. Power to the people.